Alright, so this is a tutorial on how to map using CodeWalker, OpenIV, and 3ds Max on Grand Theft Auto 5 for specifically FiveM. So we're gonna begin with CodeWalker, pressing T to open the toolbar and pressing spacebar or this little button over here to enable the DLC. Okay, after it loaded, we're going to Zancudo Air Force Base. That's where we're gonna do our tutorial. Gotta wait for it to load. Meanwhile, we're gonna start a new project. Click in here, new. We're gonna call it tutorial. And we're gonna save it in a folder called tutorial. After creating the project, we create a new YMap. It's also going to be called tutorial. Let's save that in the same place. Alright. So let's begin by removing something. We're gonna remove these little hangers over here. That's the idea now. So instead of removing, actually deleting them, the good way to do it is moving them around. Using CodeWalker, it's really weird to actually move stuff around, so it's gonna take a while, but you have to move lots of objects, like the dirt and etc. So let's just start moving them around. You can actually use the view, go into HD. It lowers the object count around, and you actually select the proper hanger you want to do. Move that. Control right click to actually select lots of objects at the same time. Make sure you're actually selecting the proper objects and not LODs, else it's gonna be really funky. Okay, I think we can call it a day. Okay, now you got it done, you save it, save all, don't forget it. So make sure it's actually saving the right stuff. You go into the project manager screen and you actually save all from there. In my opinion, it's better that way. Let's also remove this lamp over here, these two lamps. In the case of lightning, you maybe actually have to delete them, because if you put up under the map, they can actually light the ground from underneath it, and that's really bad, and you don't want that. Let's save it again. It's adding files to the project. Save from there. Okay. Now we're going to move into collisions. As you can see, the whole collision file is still over there. It's all a mess. But it's two files actually. This place are two files. It's the heist CS3078 and it should be 079 as well. And there's one over there as well, which is the 010, I believe. '08 and '09. Alright. We're gonna do that now. To actually edit the collisions, you have to note this is a heist object. It was updated in the heist. And when going to find the object, you have to actually open the update, x64, DLC packs, NP heist, DLC RPF, x64, levels, GTA 5, hills, country 03, and CS307. That's the way to actually find the collision files. After getting into the RPF file, we're gonna need the 0, 7, 9 and 8. We're going to export that into our tutorial. Remember, it's going to export as an open file and not an IBN, YBN. That's important to note. Okay, we've got the collision files over there. We're going to edit it in 3ds Max. You need the tool James Evo to be able to edit Grand Theft Auto 5 files. Import. We're going to import those two collision files. Okay, we got the collision over here. We're going to delete all the collisions that belong to the hangars. Edit both match. Delete those. Deleted something I shouldn't delete. Gotta be careful with deleting stuff, else you're gonna end up deleting something that you're not supposed to delete, and that it's going to annoy the hell out of you. Okay. I think we can call it a day as well. Okay, after removing the collisions for the hangars, we're going to export the file. Select the location to export it, tutorial. Okay. Here you select the objects you want to export in. If you note the collision files in 3ds Max and Grand Theft Auto 5, if you open all of them at the same time, they're going to be located at their respective places. So you can open, like, for example, Hose and Kudo and be able to modify all of it, and then export only the files you actually modified. Like using this hierarchy, you can export only the things you actually modified and make the file size below. Okay, now we're going to keep exporting. It's going to export all files. While that happens, we go back to project and we go on to the Y maps and calculate flags and extents from all of the Y maps. Save them all. Into tools, we got a manifest generator. We save it in the same folder. It's okay. Still exporting what we need. Okay, there we go. While that happens, we go into CodeWalker and we're going to take a look at colluded boxes. What are they? The collision boxes are what make objects disappear behind them. So if we remove the objects and look at this area right now, the whole mountain behind it would be flickering, or it would just disappear. So to actually remove the collisions boxes, we click it, we find the file for it, which is heist cs3 occlusion 00, and the ID is 47. Correct? We go back to OpenIV, we find those colluded files. It should be somewhere over here actually. Here, CS3 occlusion. It's the 001, 00, the guy we need. We take it, export it into XML, go into tutorial. Oh god, no. Export it over there. We open it using Notepad++. Okay, now we go back and find the IDs that we want to remove. This is the 47, right? Here it begins by the ID 0. So if it's the 47, we wanted the 48 index. You can see it's not really divided by a number, so we can assume this is 0 and this is 1. And look at the line, it is 14 is 0, 24 is 1, 34 is 2, and etc. We need 47, so we need 484, because it's 47, but since it begins with a 0, it's the 48 one. And we move it into the coordinate 0, or under the map, pretty much. Save it. Go back to OpenIV. And we go back now to, don't mind that, we go back to CodeWalker. We turn it to nighttime, and you can see there are LOD lights over here. The floating lights. What we do with them? Basically, we find their position, we set up current pause, and we see it's by the Z coordinate 55. We zoom back, selection, distance LOD lights, and you can find the files it actually is in. So it's in medium 017, it's in medium 032, and it's in small 000. That's a problem because they usually overlap, lots of them. So if you want to really get rid of that light, you should move on these three Y-maps distant LODs. And to find them, we go back to OpenIV. There's LOD lights. What we want is small 00, just as an example. Small 00. Export it as well to XML. Close this file. Open the log lights. Edit with Notepad. Ctrl F. You can substitute, localize it for 55 point. You use the apostrophe and the number and a point after it. So because all the values begin with that, so it makes sure you're actually only removing the values from that line. Okay, so we're going to remove all the log lights and putting them under the ground. We basically have to only substitute all of them, or substitute all of them in all the open documents. If any case, like, since they're usually overlapping, you probably have like 3 documents open, and you can usually do like replacing all of them with using this button in all the documents. 0 occurrences. Oh, that's weird. Now we do it on 64 to make sure it's going to be removed. There is 0 occurrences because it's probably in another file and not the small 000, but that's fine, you get the idea. You save that. You can close Notepad now. We go back to OpenIV, and that's basically, we're done with the map. We go back to there's a thing I did. We import open formats right here, and we get all the formats we just modified. Open them. That's going to import them as OBNs and open formats and turn them into what GTA recognizes as an actual file. You select them again, extract into the same folder. That's going to give you the files you need. There's IBN and YMaps. You don't need the XMLs and the CW project, that's not needed. And this is basically pretty much done, but now we also want to remove these weird dirt patches over here, right? That's going to be annoying because they're weird. So we go back to Entity, View, Orphan HD, and we try to find that actual file. But you can, after some ideas, you can know that's a decals. And to find decals, it's not really hard. Where is that one? Out here. It's probably in the other file. Okay. Here. We're running 13 mil decals 15. No, it's not it. Okay, let's just do it in the way it can be done. That file's name is mil decals 0, 8 or 11. Alright. We're gonna modify one of them. We go back to OpenIV, MP heists. Not now. We could use that, but it's not here. So what we do, we can actually modify this instead of doing that. We export it to open format again. Select the folder. Wait for it. We can start a new scene in 3ds Max. It's not needed anymore. Import tutorial, we're gonna import that. It's fine if it doesn't find the textures. You can just press OK. It's fine, it's not gonna find all the textures. It's really shitty. But okay. We press Z so we can zoom in. And now we see this is the whole decal for the helicopter pad. This is right over here. You can use it for a reference. CodeWalker, it's pretty good. So let's see. We want to delete the helipads. Alright. So we editable mesh element, delete those. Not sure why selecting is not working. Okay. After that is done, you just go back into the exporting. Select the folder, tutorial again. It's gonna ask you the objects you want to export, just like the collisions, and you just export it. Okay, you've exported the file. Not yet. Okay, it should be done. No more. While it's not done, we go back to OpenIV. Go to our installers. That's where we're stationing temporary files. It's done exporting. We import the open format again. That's the decals ODR and that folder. Press OK. Okay, you've got now a GTAV recognizable file. You extract that into the same folder. Alright. We go back to the tutorial. We don't need this folder, this CW project, the OBNs, the ODR, and the XMLs. We only need the IMF, the IMAPs, the IDR, the YBN, and that's all. The IBNs are our collisions. The IDR, YDR are the decals, the 3D models. The YMAPs are the files that we edited in CodeWalker, except for the occlusion, which are the ones we edited in Notepad, and the disk load lights, which are the ones we also edited in the Notepad. And the manifest YMF, which is the file you have to generate after finishing a map in CodeWalker. That's what tells GTA what files to load, pretty much. And you can, that's pretty much done. After that, you zip it. Call it something like Zancudo 15. No, wait, Zancudo 2543, and that's pretty much done. You have a new map with deleted objects, deleted collision, deleted occlusions, deleted distant load lights, and deleted decals 3D models. And this video is gonna take a while. It's gonna be 24 minutes long. If you want to skip the parts, that's okay. See ya.